Good day, YouTube. It's Saturday, June 6, 2020. This is my 94 Geo Tracker. It's a 1.6 liter 8 valve engine. I really have grown to love to drive this thing. This is the third Suzuki based vehicle that we've had over the past 25 years or so. Of course, I set this one all up to tow behind the bus. We haven't actually towed it behind the bus, towed it behind my truck. But in the morning, it's running rough. And this morning it was running more rough than usual, but this morning was cooler. It was cloudy, it had rained this morning, that kind of thing. Yesterday it actually didn't do bad in the morning. So I'm pretty sure what we're down to is spark plug wires. I put new plugs in it the other day and it seemed to have corrected the problem. However, a couple days later, a nice cool, maybe a high humidity day, and it's missing and stuck in the morning. So when it warms up, I don't mean just the engine warms up, it has to be like warm for an hour. I could drive it a little bit, shut it off, and an hour later it'll be fine. So it doesn't have to do with coming up to engine temperature. I think it has more to do coming up to engine bay temperature, where it dries the plugs out, or plug wires out, and maybe they don't arky and sparky anymore. So I think the task for this morning will be to build a new set of plug wires for this. So I'll probably just pull them off one at a time, take them in and build them. Oh, let's look at that. I was kind of looking at that coil wire. Just seems to have some colorizations on it that might be interesting. So let me show you what I got to work with. So this is a 7mm Belden. That's a 100-foot coil there. There's the number. Ignition wire. And this is a little bit I had left over from probably a smaller piece that I had some time ago. So opportunity to use this up. And then we can get into this. So I buy this by the coil. This was probably a 50-footer at some point, and then last time I went in and bought a 100-foot, because I do make plug wires all the time. And then they keep well stocked on plug wire terminals and so forth, and I find these at swap meets, local auto parts store. Might have bought some online, and then some from some kits and stuff that I've had over the years. Might have some ends on them that are a little bit different. So I do like these silicone ends. I use straights every time I can. I've never had problems with these, so these are the ones I like. You can buy them for different diameters cable. So there's some in here that are for 8mm. I might have to get through here and get the 7mm ones, because that's the cable that I purchased. So I'm going to start getting a few of these made, and I'll bring you back and show you how to build one, and we'll get these things swapped out. And then tomorrow morning will be a good testament. Does that solve my problem? So I'll get back to you here in a little while. Alright, this is the last spark plug wire. So I actually was able to use up that coil of plug wire that I had. This is the last of it. Threw a few inches of it away, but that's good. So I've been making these just slightly longer than the ones that were there. Seemed like these were pretty tight. So this has been running for 26 years. It doesn't need to work anymore. So let's prepare this wire for the ends. We're going to strip. This is the cap end, and it only needs, maybe a 1/2 inch or so of exposed wire. Now, you have your choice with what type of wire. You can get what do you call it, a carbon core or whatever, the resistor wire. And what you get's completely up to you. I've got tinned copper here. The resistor wire, if you got sensitive electronics, I don't know that that's as big a deal now as it used to be in the 80s. Wish this knife was a little sharper. Well, hang on. why that knife all of a sudden got dull. Because I haven't really noticed ignition noise issue in running copper wire, but we'll let you make your own decision there. A lot of the plug wires I make aren't for vehicles that even have radios and stuff, for small engines and whatever. So there we've stripped out one end. We'll strip out the other. The really nice thing about having all this here is I don't have to wait for auto parts stores to open up. If I bought a set of plug wires for a 94 Geo Tracker, they're probably also going to fit a Pinto and a whatever, and they're going to be not an exact fit probably. If you do find them that are exact fit for your vehicle, I'll bet they're pretty expensive. So buying this in bulk, I'm not going to remember what I paid for this. I'm sure it was an eBay purchase. There's no link because the links are only good for a week or so, right? But it's still cheaper. And you can make the exact plug wire you want and the exact length that you want. So this is a long one. We're going to put the spark plug boot on first. And I'm going to use some deep creep here. I missed. I was trying to keep my fingers clean. We'll shoot a little down there. We'll shoot a little right there. And so much for keeping my fingers clean. But they do slide on very nicely. We can wipe off the excess there and kind of let some of that dissipate. Let's put the other boot on while we're making a mess. Same deal. This, of course, being distributor cap end, it's a little harder to put on than the other. Yeah. And let's pull it off because if it's going that hard the first half of the way, the second half's going to get worse. I obviously didn't get enough in there on there, something there. Much better. You can do this without spraying the stuff on there. I don't recommend it. They're a pain in the butt. And they'll become less slippery very soon. Alright, let's crimp some ends on. Now that I've got the deep creep all over my fingers. Okay, so we'll do the distributor end first. Be sure you remember which ends that you're using. Don't put a spark plug end on the distributor end. You know what I mean? So we're going to fold the wire over. Again, it's tinned copper. We're going to slide that in like that. It just goes underneath here, okay? Right now, these little wings are a little wide for the crimper. So I take pliers, or in this case my strippers, and I'm going to just pinch those in a little bit. You'll see why in a second. Because they fit the crimper. Now, these crimpers, I have had these since I was 16 years old. That is 40 years. 40 years I've had these. Got these from my uncle's auto parts store when I was in high school. And they have a spot right there for, I used to say 7 and 8 millimeter terminals. This guy right there with that indenter, okay? We're going to slide this in. We can make my fingers work this morning. And we're going to center those wings right in that indenter crimper. Do you see that? Like so. And then we're going to crimp it. Okay. And then give it all you got. Like that. And there's the crimp. Okay. We got the wire pinched in there. Darn good. And then we'll slide this boot down. And to right about there. Okay. Now we'll do the other side. Make sure you put a spark plug end on the spark plug boot end. This is a little long. It's a little easier to cut them shorter than it is to get them a little longer. So we'll buzz that right there. We'll bend that over. We'll slide this on. And it just slides on like that. So the wire's just popping out the other side. Same deal. We got to press those in a little bit. So they'll fit in the crimper. We'll get the crimper out. We'll lay it in there right about center. And then we'll crimp it. And we'll give it all you got. There we go. And this one, you can see a nice tight crimp on that baby. They make the ones that clamp in the vise and you hit them with a hammer and so forth. See the little bit of wire hanging out there? You know you did it good when you got it there. And then you want to pull the boot down. This will slide in and slide down to about right there. Right there where my thumb is. Okay, that's where it needs to be. Alright, we need to go install this, and this is the fourth one. Okay, it's just starting to sprinkle out now. It's supposed to be raining for like 2 weeks or something. So hopefully we get down here in a minute. We'll put the distributor cap end on. We'll click in there. And we'll tuck this in. I think it was threaded in about right there. Hope I'm not completely blocking your view. Plug that in. It's got really good wire separators on this rig. I'll bring you around this side. Drop you down. There's another separator down in here. This one has to thread here, over here. Yeah, that. Got it. I don't think I got that one right. I am using my long nose pliers to get this spark plug end on the plug. There she is. Alright. I still got to make a coil wire. But let's fire it up because it's starting to rain. The real test will be tomorrow morning, but that'll do for now. I'm still going to make a coil wire, but I've shown you guys how to build a set of plug wires. We did it in under an hour, and cost was minimal. I would say $10–12 in parts or so. So guys, thanks for watching, commenting, subscribing if you haven't. Hit that bell notification, it'll let you know when I post another video. I will catch you guys next time at Glenn's Speed Shop. Carry on.